and let us all do we can to build a better future.
So Joanne Reed and people at BSDNC are talking about rage quitting Twitter. So, Indy, when are you going to rage quit Twitter?
Oh, I'm hanging around because I just enjoy seeing who rage quits. That's fun.
Of course, but see, it's more than that. It's more than that, because apparently, according to Joanne Reed, this video segment, it has no purpose in regards to news, but they're talking about how Twitter is this violent, horrifyingly unforgiving landscape, and that people are leaving, and that, well, Twitter is now useless to them. So let's pull up this first video segment, and I have to say, like, it must be a very slow news day for these people, because they're unable to really articulate really what's wrong with Twitter. Because again, Twitter has remained the same. It doesn't matter who's running it, whether it's Jack or Elon. Nothing has truly fundamentally changed. So let's play this video. And here, this is BSDNC telling you that Twitter's such a violent place.
Might be on the slow road to obscurity, as Mark Zuckerberg's rival app Threads has surpassed 100 million users in only 5 days. Meanwhile, Twitter users are mostly left with a ranting and raving Elon Musk and lots of racists.
Lots and lots of racists. So anyone that's on Twitter is technically a racist. Anyone that's Twitter is a right-winger. Indy, you're a right-winger. I guess I'm a right-winger. RBN is a right-wing network. You know. Did you know that I think someone from the Vanguard actually said that about RBN? Like they only have a white audience. So Revolutionary Blackout Network only has white racists watching their show. Can you believe that? Like somebody would actually go around and say that kind of stupid stuff? That it was the dumbest thing ever. Yes, it was the dumbest thing ever. How is that even possible? How can you say that with a straight face?
Come on, guys. Come on, guys.
Twitter Spaces. And polls like this anti-Semitic one asking if Jews control the world and are waging war on white Western society.
Okay, first of all, this could be a troll. And number two, okay, hey, you're only grabbing up one example. How many more examples are you doing? Because this is how MSNBC operates. This is how CNN operates. They only highlight the most controversial tweets, all right? They're only highlighting those that are extremely off-putting. And they did that to YouTube. How do you think we got the adpocalypse in the first time? For those who don't know, the first adpocalypse, corporate media was losing viewership to YouTube. I mean, corporate media was on a huge decline. And because people, you had some quote-unquote journalists, talent, I mean journalists, I mean their talent, get upset that people like PewDiePie were universally more popular than them. So they did all these smear attacks towards PewDiePie. Now, what they said about him was that he was wearing a Third Reich uniform. He was wearing a British bombardier uniform. So, again, British bombardier uniform, Luftwaffe uniform. Two different things all together. And that's how, and again, it just gave me a short summary, but corporate media was able to bully its way on by showing extreme videos and going after more popular YouTube content creators. And that's where we're in. That's what MSNBC is doing right now, too.
Those are being allowed to stay up. Horrifyingly, half of the people who engaged with this tweet answered yes to that question. It's just one example of Twitter failing to regulate hate speech from their dues-paying blue checks, who are also spreading misinformation, with a new report showing that blue checks are fueling disinformation about the Ukraine war. Joining me now is Ben Collins, NBC News senior reporter, and my doom scrolling reporter. We just said your report on doom.
Yeah, they said you're reporting on doom, but also, again, fake news about the war in Ukraine. Okay, so what's going on? Because the New York Times and corporate media had to change their story numerous times about the Nord Stream pipeline. How many times have they changed that pipeline story about what happened to it, Indy? I don't know, what, 4 or 5 times now?
At least 3. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so I overshot it just a little bit. But hey, Indy, maybe it's important that you don't know what happened to the Nord Stream pipeline. Okay, buddy? Stop asking questions and
that's what the New York Times wants you to say.
Yes, yep. Exactly.
Pretty much. But I love seeing you anyway, my friend. It does feel like, I'm just going to give you myself as an example. I'm somebody who I stopped using Twitter quite a long time ago. I don't tweet. I don't want to give Elon any content. But every so often I would check it just as an aggregator, just to see if there's any news in there in between the Nazi tweets. After a while, I stopped doing that because it's like, I don't want to have to read through Nazi crap just to see what's in the news. Threads?
What Twitter does she look at?
There's
what? Yeah, exactly. Like, first of all, Giant Reed, who are you following?
In between the Nazi tweets? You mean like the ones that are saying, oh, yeah, there's Nazis in Ukraine. Yeah, there's a lot of those because you don't want to report on it, Joy. Maybe that's why there's a lot of Nazi tweets. Yeah, it's not that there's like people that are fans of Nazis. It's like they're telling you, hey, you're shilling for supporting and uplifting Nazis. So maybe you should stop doing that.
Exactly. And on top of that as well, first of all, again, you know, Twitter, like any other social media platform, has an algorithm. So, Joy, are you secretly following a lot of extreme right wingers? Like that's the only way. Like your account is really being bombarded with that, and not to mention, again, you know, Joy and Reed. Maybe if you kind of look back at 2019, there was a whole crap ton of articles about the Nazis being in Ukraine. You know, I mean, that was a thing. And hell, even the New York Times did an article like, hey, Ukraine, stop with that Third Reich imagery. It's making it difficult for us to lie for you. They actually did an article like that. Yeah, we actually talked about it on your show. I remember last time I was on your show, we talked about it. So stupid.
There's no reason to check Twitter anymore. All of the major NATO blog's on there. The Washington Post is on there. All of the stuff I would normally read, I can aggregate it on Threads. Twitter now is useless to me. If people like me are leaving, I don't know how Twitter survives.
Oh, because she's so important.
Oh, my God.
She's so important. If I'm leaving, then Twitter is useless. But hold on. It gets better, folks. It does. It gets a lot better.
Instagram,
corporate media is imploding.
Billion people. TikTok, 1.6 billion people. Twitter was at 370 million and dropping. Snapchat, 370. Threads is only at 100 million so far. But
are those just bots? Because who knows? You know, you can have robots, replicants, to actually boost up how many people are subscribing. How many of those 100 million are authentic? What do you think?
Well, that's 3%. That's 3% of the Facebook audience. So I can believe that. But a lot of people that are excited about Threads were never on Twitter. Like, people from Twitter don't care about this and don't want to hand Mark Zuckerberg a third platform that he's going to be the most dominant worldwide. Like, how dumb do you want to be to literally hand then and Threads likely will take Snapchat within a month or two. All right. So, and Twitter. So they'll have more daily, their monthly users will be there. How engaged they are, how many times a day that they're engaged, what they're posting on there, and how they use it is also, I believe, going to be a little bit different from Twitter because the people, the personnel who are there are different.
Exactly.
It's a mess, and I'm not signed up for Threads because word is if you sign up for Threads, you don't like it and want to undo it, you then have to delete your Instagram account, and I don't want to do that. So
whoa, holy cow.
I'm out on Threads.
So wait, well, see, first of all, I was never going to get Threads anyways because I heard it's a battery killer. That's what I heard about the app.
Mm-hmm.
If you put it on your phone, it will drain.
Well, they'll fix that.
Yeah, right. Come on. Yeah. The Zuck is going to fix problems with his platform. I mean, how many problems have there been with Facebook or Instagram? It's again, you go from one billionaire to another. Look, I'd rather hang out on Twitter and see the madness and insanity there than a quote unquote safe space bubble area. That's going to be what Threads is all about. Because what Threads is, this will be a safe space where there's no individual thinking, only sheep mentality thinking. So go with the sheep.
Per month. Is there a concern out there that maybe Zuckerberg winds up getting too much power?
Yeah.
Yes.
Joy, we're not
exactly. Precisely. Goofy.
So let's hand him more.
Yeah, not only let's hand him more. Hey, let's give Zuck all of our personal data. I mean, let's face it. You have done stories. We have done stories on the fact that third-party outlets are getting our private data from Facebook, Instagram, all these large social media platforms. I mean, our private identities are being, handed to corporations and other individuals for nefarious needs or just to follow us. I mean, so Threads, I'm willing to bet that there's a lot of problems in Threads that will eventually cause that platform to get hacked. Because knowing Mark Zuckerberg, he's going to cut corners.
Like, we are in this weird space where we just float around from one weird rich guy's platform to the next. Elon, however, he got red pilled. The guy is an internet 4chan dude now.
And oh my God.
He got red pilled. Oh no. He got red pilled.
No, Jesse Jet got red pilled. By the way, subscribe, jessejet.bandcamp.com. My favorite Jesse Jet song is called Red Pilled.
Oh,
so shoot, yeah, we all should be red pilled, because what it means is that you're no longer believing the illusion that corporate media is trying to sell you, the bullshit. Nice tight spot on the camera. Yes, I love you, Jesse Jet.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but the thing is too, these are individuals that are telling viewers, again, what is the age, the prominent age of people who watch corporate media? Do you know that answer, Indy?
Oh, it's 65, 60 and over, 62 and over. It's seniors mostly.
Yeah, I don't see any of those people having a Twitter account. That's nothing against people who do have the Twitter, who are in that age bracket, who do have Twitter accounts, but I see a vast majority of that audience not logging on to Twitter. Okay. And saying, oh, well, okay, I guess I know better not to get Twitter now. I should get Threads. The people using Twitter the most are people below the age of 62, especially a lot of young people. And Twitter is a very popular social media platform. All right. And whatever criticism you have of Elon Musk, he is making some improvements to it, but he's also doing some things that are kind of, out there.
He is making his
he's breaking it, he's censoring people. Yeah.
So he's so more or less nothing has fundamentally changed.
Worse,
the rate limiting thing, Elon's not helping himself in any way, shape, or form. I personally have been moving further over to Substack Notes. I think that is, first of all, Substack, and nobody wants to talk about that because that is the corporate media killer. It's a user subscriber based platform that allows content creators to engage directly with their audiences without the filter of corporate media, without anybody actually getting in between and trying to craft that message and change that narrative. So
precisely.
Yeah, exactly. Go on about Twitter. It's
let's
I know this sort of corporate media clown.
The fear mongering gets better.
You are confronted with videos of people getting murdered at the very least, or people replying to you that you didn't even know existed and you really don't want to. And maybe they don't because there's really no bot checking anymore. So I don't love this. This is the reality that we're in right now. But everyone is sort of planting their flag all throughout the internet.
I don't love this. I wish I could be where all this other sheep are at. Why am I going through this? The pain of going through social media.
Because we're in a new era.
Well, because he's been told that Elon is the devil.
Yes.
That's why. He's doing this because he's been sold a narrative that Elon is more dangerous or more censorious than Jack. The one thing I will say is that Elon has purged 87% of Twitter's staff. So, and he's saying that they did nothing, but there's no way that you build a $40 billion company on 1,000 employees, number one, not 8,000 that were working there. Certainly there must have been bloat and waste and hiring people that they were either hiring them to keep them away from Google or Facebook or Apple or another talented company. They had acquired their company and they were looking to, they had a contract to keep them under employment for a certain amount of time. They basically stuck them in a closet and said, hang out and do whatever you want for a while and help us run this thing. But we've got it from here. That happens sometimes too, and keep their mouths shut. You know,
I can answer your question in regards to why all those people were fired. Okay, so here's the thing: Twitter under the previous management under Jack Dorsey, we did a story about this a while ago. Eventually, Jack Dorsey did like a hands-off approach and let his underlings kind of run the whole show, which is why Twitter was really ramping up the censorship. Again, Elon Musk is doing that to other people too, but I would kind of make an argument that before Musk it was up to an 11. All right. And it's kind of been dialed down by that much, and then that's it. All right, nothing has really changed that much because again, we still see censorship, we still see suppression, but a lot of those people that were hired were just there to fill a quota. And number two, a lot of those people weren't even working. I mean, if you want to see something that will boil your blood, Indy, just look out for videos. I think this would have to be months before Elon bought Twitter. My day working at Twitter, or my day working at YouTube, or my day working at Instagram. You're seeing people, or about my day working at Google. You're seeing these people drinking a latte, going to their job, and it's like adult daycare. Okay, like there's massage areas, there's food that is probably better than I can ever buy, right? And it's there
free,
free, and so many other bells and whistles. I mean, it is something that will get you angry because the people who are narrating this video is like, oh, I'm at work, we had a meeting, then we went to Pilates, then I got my neck massage, then I drank this nice little shake, and then I saw this little thing here that promoted LGBTQ rights or other kind of social justice issues, and we talked about it, and then, oh my God, work is so hard, and then we went to the bar and we had some drinks, and then that's it. Like, you want to see something that'll boil your blood, it's videos like that. It's adult daycare. That's what Twitter was. Go ahead.
And they're listed as Twitter, Google, Facebook, Meta. They're all listed as the top 50 employers in the country to work for because they offer these kind of perks and this kind of comfort to once you get to a certain level. Don't work as one of the grunts in the field. Don't work as an Amazon package handler because you're certainly not going to have that kind of an experience.
Well, it gets even better than that because, like, here's the thing, like, at least if you've ever tried to reach out to tech support for Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, I mean, good luck getting a person. I mean, when we were being censored on YouTube, I wish Daniel was here. Hey, Dan, what's it like getting in contact with a human being at YouTube? And Dan's gonna be like, that's.
He was here in chat, actually.
Yeah. Exactly. So, but the thing is, like, reaching an actual physical person is a near impossible task on YouTube. It is very tough to do. And if you could pull it off, you got that small window of opportunity to plead your case. Anyway, let's continue on with this with these two adult pretenders crying about Twitter being not a safe space anymore.
Like the great reset of social media, where everyone is going to find these new spots and figure out which ones they like best and why they posted this one and not that one. Maybe you post a spill, maybe you post a blue sky for this sort of thing. Maybe that sandwich that you liked isn't meant for Twitter anymore. Maybe it's meant for somewhere else.
Oh, your sandwich isn't good on Twitter.
But that's where we're all headed. The problem is now, of course,
fragmentation.
Sort of the issue that we have going forward. How do we determine which one of these is important politically, right? How do we determine which user base has power politically and is driving people to the polls? And why is Ron DeSantis spending his time at this place? And why is Joe Biden's team spending his time at this place, right? That's going to be a new thing that we all have to learn. Problem is a little bit more closed off than it used to be. And that's in part because it's Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, here's the thing. No one cares. But hold on. They go on to be crying even a little bit more. They start talking about the Twitter files. Shout out to Matt Taibbi, who was speaking truth to power and did something that Joanne Reed would never do.
Twitter still is a dangerous place in terms of disinformation. We know there's lots of disinformation.
It's dangerous.
It's all dangerous. Hey, to my viewing audience,
it's bad for you.
Don't go to Twitter. There's racists, there's misogynists, there's sexist, there's people,
Nazis in between the Nazi posts.
That's right. There's trolls. There's a lot of bad things. Your feelings will get hurt. So remember, folks, don't go to Twitter. You won't be safe. Keep your head on a swivel.
There's lots of Nazi stuff on there, but I wonder if it concentrates it so much that the right wingers get bored of talking to each other, right? When Twitter is Getter, they don't want to be on there. They want to be where the liberals are because they want to own the libs, and they can only do that in places where normal people are. And I wonder if they start trying to infect and
again.
Oh my God!
Again, they're going to try and infect Threads now. So, in other words, okay, I'm going to reach out to what the percentage of my audience that's conservative or Republican. So what MSNBC is saying to conservatives, I'm going to add in libertarians, Trump supporters. I mean, if you're a Trump supporter, you watch this show, hey, awesome. We have yet to have a Republican on our show. But nonetheless, what they're saying is now that everyone's going to Threads, or the liberals are going to Threads, you guys have to go there too. So sort of making you like these stalkers, these people that are just going to be stalking you like, oh, we're the normal people. We gotta trigger them. That's how MSNBC is trying to present conservative, Republican, libertarian, Trump supporters out to be, into stalkers, into something that's inhuman. If that's not insulting, I don't know what is. It's on par with Hillary Clinton with the word deplorable.
Impact Threads the same way, and whether there are enough guardrails to keep them from coming over there. Because that's one thing I've noticed. They don't like talking to each other. They want to talk to normal people, and they can only do that if they break out of their closed platform.
By the way, Indy, what's a normal person?
Well, this they stuff is really dangerous, and then this Joy then turns around and says that other people are divisive. She is projecting, she is making a whole person up that doesn't like to engage with their own friends, but would rather spend time on social media platforms where liberals are trolling liberals, because that's what actually is helping anything. No, it's because Joe Biden's the one in power, and they're actually trying to challenge the people that support him into not supporting him going forward. I don't understand why this is so difficult for people to understand. When Trump was president, they weren't screaming at liberals on Twitter. No, the liberals were screaming at them, and then they were fighting, saying what they were saying. But it was a whole different kind of conversation than this. This is, hey, you've got a corrupt guy in the White House. We've got evidence that's the case. You had somebody who has credibly accused him going back 30 years of sexual misconduct. There's so many things on top of his actual congressional, Senate, president, and vice presidential record just being monstrous.
Agreed.
And not accomplishing anything, and never being the number one leader until they gave him the job. I mean, who could have figured that a 79-year-old guy who had never been the leader of anything couldn't run the country? Huh, how about that?
Come on, Jack. You're being too harsh and critical of the vote blue no matter who and the liberals. Come on, take it easy on them, buddy.
And get on to the ones where normal people are.
Again, what's the normal people? What is a normal person? Tell me what a normal person is, Joanne Reed.
Somebody that watches MSNBC and goes to bed at 11 o'clock at night every night and never watches independent media or YouTube or anything else.
No, you're way off. It's 11 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock at night. Okay, 9 p.m. Man, that's the anything past 9 p.m. Those are crazy hours according to liberals.
Yeah, it's the ever repeating story of the internet.
Except that's when Rachel's on and Lawrence is on. So no, they have to stay up till 11 for MSNBC's crappy ratings.
Well, but see, here's the thing. Even MSNBC's losing. I mean, let's face it. All of corporate media is hemorrhaging. Fox News is still like what in the top eight spots. I mean, Fox News will be. I'm going to make this prediction. Fox News will be the last of the corporate media outlets to fall. CNN will be the first one, and then MSNBC and all the rest. Fox News will be the last one standing.
He's gone.
Oh, look, we showcase independent media on.
Go ahead, dude.
On How Do We Miss That? Like, corporate media has tons of people that are talking about it, sharing about it. We showcase and amplify independent content creators. We don't necessarily watch as many videos. Mostly we're doing articles that are written by outlets. But yeah, let's finish up with MSDNC here.
Yeah, let's finish this up here because
Ben
again,
Collins, he's so gross.
Where they find themselves to be safe, comfortable to have regular conversations with their friends. And then those places become cool or interesting, and people want in on those conversations. They want to become part of that community. They become bigger and bigger. And then eventually they become so big that some people with unpopular opinions start to think there's a conspiracy as to why they're getting shut down. Sometimes, for example, they create these things called the Twitter files, where they launch GOP congressional investigations to find out why these things are happening. But it turns out maybe their opinions are just not something that people want to listen to. And it's not censorship. It's just, the way it is.
The way
it's
what
not
is?
What?
It's you. Sorry, right ringers.
Ben
Collins. Gaslight.
Oh, what a jagoff. Seriously. No. I'm sick and tired of this crap of, oh, see, they're just right wing. They're just right wing people, and they're bad people, and we got to be triggered by them. And sorry, right wingers, I guess the facts are not on your side. Where the hell do they get off talking to us like that? So I want to pull up this video here now. Again, to be clear here, just in case Vote Blue, no matter who, or BSDNC want to get triggered by this, or any liberal Democrat, this is a video that was made by Turncoat Don. Again, Matt Taibbi was not on MSNBC, but I think it's a perfect example of what would happen if there was finally somebody with integrity who was put on MSNBC to finally tell the truth. Because let's talk about the Twitter files really are. All right. And Matt Taibbi did a fantastic job. And all these quote unquote talent, I mean journalists, I mean talent that work at BSDNC and CNN, wish they could do even a fraction what Matt Taibbi did.
I think the major revelation of the Twitter files so far is that we've discovered an elaborate bureaucracy of what you might call public-private censorship. Basically, companies like Twitter had a system by which they received tens of thousands of requests for action on various accounts, typically through the DHS and the FBI, but these requests were coming from basically every agency in the government. We've seen them from the HHS, from the Treasury, from the DOD, even from the CIA, and they will send basically long lists of accounts in Excel spreadsheet files and ask for action on those accounts. And in many cases, Twitter is complying. Yeah, it's funny, as I was reading these tens of thousands of emails, we would put them into different buckets. So this might be a First Amendment issue over here. This might be a revolving door question over here. But then over here, we had a bucket called improper asks. And there you might see something like the FBI asking for user identification or IP addresses or handles, and in some cases, even things like geolocation of individual accounts. Now, the problem is we don't always see the other side of these transactions, but we can definitely see the government asking for these things. So these are things that they're not entitled to, usually without a subpoena or without a warrant, but they're asking for them anyway because they have a very close relationship with these companies. And in some cases, we're not talking about a few accounts, we're talking about thousands of accounts where they're asking for handles or IP addresses or other,
including Tara Reid.
That I think is very
INN's Tara Reid.
Very dangerous.
No wonder.
No wonder. That's from Soul Man, by the way. That's no wonder.
Sorry, I didn't mean to remove you there, but yeah, no, it is rather shocking that that's something that's taking place with corporate media, because again, corporate media can't have somebody like Matt Taibbi on their show because he was speaking the truth about the Twitter files. Now, to be clear, he was on Fox News when he shared this. Plus, he's also been on the Jimmy Dore show talking about the Twitter files and what they represent. But corporate media, people like Joanne Reed, people at BSDNC, want to, again, cause their audience to be afraid, divide Americans, and define what is a normal person and what is not a normal person. So here's what I'm going to say as a final note for this story. I am proud of the fact that I have such a diverse audience watching Hardlands Media. We have libertarians who watch this show. We have Greens who watch this show. We have conservatives. Dare I say it, maybe occasional Trump supporter here and there, progressives, Democrats, and people who are just burnt out by electoral politics. Now, again, we all each share each other's opinions. None of us are ever going to think the same. But let me be very clear. There is no such thing as a defined normal person. Each one of us are unique. We have different perspectives and points of view. And for far too long, corporate media has divided us. Corporate media has put us into these little bubbles that are causing us to go to war with each other. Look, across the bat, Americans are being screwed over. Corporate media and the two-party system have done a phenomenal job in dividing us. And I think it's long overdue we wake up. Now, we're not all going to agree with each other, but I think we can universally agree that corporate media is a poison that is crippling us, causing us to lose our ability to think critically and maybe see another side of the view, another perspective. So don't let the media define you. Don't let it bully you. And if you're hearing somebody saying, I'm going to go to Threads just to go to a safe space, maybe try and talk to that person and say, well, wait a minute. Why are you being pushed into the threads? Who's telling you to do this? Who's giving you those orders? Indy, any other final thoughts?
I got a couple things. First off, thank you. So I wrote a Substack about this, literally called "Our New Mission is to Unplug from Corporate Media." Go to indiemedia.today. It's literally the featured article. Also, Threads, they're curating and serving you a news feed that they decide what they're showing you, and you have no control over that. And you can't filter. You can't see just the people that you're following. There's a lot of they're forcing you into seeing what they want you to see versus you seeing and curating the news feed that you should be, that you want to see, that are the sources that are important to you, that you trust. I don't trust Facebook and the corporations. And this is what the Twitter files was about, was that the corporations that these third-party NGO entities that are deeming that there are certain accounts that are Russian or that are feeding disinformation, they're completely corporate funded, and they have an agenda to cancel out anyone that is questioning that narrative. And that's why Joe Loria and Consortium News and Truth Out and other Indie Media Award honorees and recipients have been censored and have been targeted and have had their PayPals cut off. Mint Press News famously has been targeted over and over again because they are challenging and providing the alternate narrative. It's not alternative facts. It's the actual facts that are undoing the narrative that the NATO countries are trying to spin. And corporate media are the biggest purveyors of that. We need to unplug from it, and we need to convince everyone around us to do it. We literally, like, my kids will watch YouTube stuff and Disney Plus. I don't want to watch any of that stuff. Like, I'm down here working on this stuff and watching independent media and helping independent creators basically from the minute I wake up till the minute I go to sleep. But that's me. That's not I don't expect everybody to do that. But to understand, when you're watching corporate media, what agenda are they spinning? Okay. What are they leaving out from the story? And why are they presenting the part of the story that they are presenting? If you can at least convince people to start thinking about those three things when they watch a corporate news story, that's a big win. Because they're going to start questioning their motivations. And that's what we need to start doing.
That's a good note to end it on. Folks, walk out of your bubbles, talk to your neighbors. Let's try and break down the barriers that corporate media put around us, because it just doesn't work to keep us divided. We have to work together.